I've done this for, I don't even know how many years at this point. For years, I studied and I became an expert on spiritual rituals, concepts, and esoteric knowledge. I was seeking the truth. I don't think I'll ever stop seeking the truth, and I feel like you're watching this because you can relate. But with all of that seeking, I found a truth that I never thought that I would find. Before I really get into the meat of this video, I want you to understand that I'm going to be making a complete transformation to this channel, specifically regarding the name. So if you see me posting in the next few days with a completely different channel name, it's still me. It's just under a new platform. It's going to be a new name. So I want you to know that in advance. Thank you for just being on this journey with me. I really appreciate it. When I really look at all the things that I was actually practicing, I practiced so many things, you guys. And if you followed my journey for this amount of time, you know that I practice ancestral things. I practice magic, spiritual concepts, spiritual rituals. You name it, I've probably done it. Santeria, Ifa, Candomblé, hoodoo, voodoo. Just so many things. I'm not going to name everything because I don't want to leave anything out. And it was essentially me trying to manifest. It was essentially me seeking and trying to put all of these things together that could give me the outcome that I wanted. And I'm going to be very honest with you. In a lot of those moments, I was getting what I wanted. I'm not here to say that it doesn't work. But I do want to enlighten you. I want to offer you a different lens, so to speak. I believe that if you're here on this channel, you are a truth seeker. And so I will never be able to take away that truth seeking ability within you. I have it too. So trust me, I get it. But what I do want to offer you is just to look into my journey and the things that I've learned, because I have invested so much time. And I do want you to kind of hear like where I'm coming from. So New Age for me was an ability to be able to create. I believe that creation is necessary for my existence. I believe that without creating, I kind of just lose a lot of my essence, so to speak. And the New Age movement, the New Age practices, if I'm being quite honest, none of it was new. All of it is things that have been here since the beginning of time, right? And so I resonated with that. And I found myself connecting to all of these ancient things and the history and the beauty. There's so much beauty connected to these New Age spiritual concepts that we call New Age, but I see them as just ancestral and traditional values. There's so much to discover from them. And what starts to happen is you start to identify so many parts of yourself with these deities, these practices. And you start to really understand just how powerful that they can be. And so for me, that was part of the reason why I stayed in that structure for over a decade. And it wasn't just one thing. I want to also help you understand that it was never just one thing. It was always me searching for more. Like I said, I'm a truth seeker by heart. So I definitely found myself, if something made sense here and I found something else that made sense, I was going to dive into it. A lot of you guys know me from my tarot videos and my astrology videos. That was my bread and butter. Literally, I became an expert at astrology and tarot. And to this day, I have so much knowledge that I almost feel like, what am I supposed to do with it? But honestly, I prayed about it, and I believe I'm supposed to use all of that information that I learned from the past to help people on their journey now. I believe everything that you go through and that I go through is supposed to build your journey of wisdom and expertise in this thing that we call life. So I'm going to use everything that I know to help empower those who are also on this truth-seeking journey. So what made me drift from it? I didn't necessarily drift. I believe that I just got to a point where I stopped caring so much about the outcomes of things. And that just came from life, to be quite honest with you. I began to become fatigued with trying to pursue this outcome that I wasn't seeing in the speed that I wanted. But there was something within me, and I believe that it was like I was releasing, I was letting go. And it wasn't like this overnight transformational thing. It was simply me saying, I don't know. And that for me was actually spiritual laziness. I had never been in that position before where I was kind of like, okay, universe, whatever you want to do, ancestors, whatever you want to do. I was tired. I was so tired of chasing, of offering, of ritualistic things. I was tired of the uncertainty. I was tired of feeling like I always had to pull a card to see what to do next. And I just became tired. My spirit got tired. And so that's how I started to drift away. It wasn't because of some scary experience. It was truthfully just because of the fact that I was tired of being in cycles. for so long. And so I just kind of became lazy, if you want to be really honest about it. I just became lazy. So in me becoming lazy, I started to just live my life. I started to say, you know what, let me let go of some of these tight grips that I have. And some of it was forced and some of it was not. And what I mean by that is I started to become really aware of the fact that sometimes I think I know what I'm doing, but I realize truthfully, nothing is really happening based on my will. And there would be these things that would happen that would be really amazing or really crappy. And I had to humble myself and realize in those moments, it wasn't me that was creating any of that. And so because of my spirituality with New Age, I had gained such a deep respect for God. I want you guys to understand that. No matter what practice I was practicing, I always knew that I was trying to connect to the highest power, right? Because of that, I had a reverence for it. And so whenever things would happen in my life, I always was humble to it. I never thought that I was the creator, but at the same time, a lot of the spiritual practices that I was doing, it puts you in the seat of the person who's making things happen. And so when things happen that I did not plan for, I didn't know what to do about it. And I started to realize, oh, I'm not the creator of all of this. And so there's something that is covering over me, that's over me, that I need to try to understand more so I can understand myself better. And so without trying, and I promise you it was not by force, I did not try, I did not seek. And in fact, I was really apprehensive towards the concept of Jesus Christ. And over time, within the span of maybe 2 to 3 months, I started to have these really weird things happen around me where I was starting to be drawn to apologetics, and I was being drawn to the Bible. I was being around people who they knew God, but they didn't have that relationship with God, the triune God. And so I just started to slowly but surely start to drift into that format. And because I'm a truth seeker, I don't say no to things. I say, let's see, why, prove it. And so that's the approach that I took with Christianity. And by my surprise, I swear, I wouldn't be able to pay anyone to tell me this was going to be my future. As many cards as I pulled, with all of the stuff that I looked at in my chart from the past, no one would be able to tell me in their right mind, and I would believe it, that I was going to be a follower of Christ at this time in my life or ever. Like, I just did not believe it. And so it started with me doing a lot of research and seeing, like, what is it that I don't believe about Christ, about the Father, about the Holy Spirit? And let me see if I can debunk that. And so I really started to look from almost I don't want to say atheist because I believe in a God, right? But I looked from a very agnostic point of view, and I looked from a historian's point of view. I looked from a scientific point of view, and a lot of that led me into this purpose of, at first it was very factual. Like, I knew for a fact that Jesus is God. I knew for a fact that God is a thing, right? But I didn't understand the faith aspect. And it's interesting because I'm spiritual. You would think I would be able to know these things, but I had to learn, and that's where I'm at now. Basically, I'm in this position where I know for a fact that everything spiritual that I've been through is for a reason. And I know for a fact that I've built an audience that understands that truth-seeking aspect, and we all have it. I believe that all of us have something to contribute once we understand who we are under God. And so once we stop trying to be God and we actually go and surrender to Him, there's so much that can be birthed from that. And there's a journey that can continue, a true journey. The Bible even states that there's 2 gates, and the one that's wide is going to be the one that a lot of people go towards. It's not who you're created to be. It's kind of you going wayward, and we all do it, right? But there's some people after this life that are going to go to that gate choosing to, wanting to. But for those who are truth seeking on a very deep and honest level, there's a gate that's very narrow, and only so many people are going to be able to go through it. And I believe that I'm here to help people understand that there is a truth, and it's not just this wide abyss of possibilities. The truth is concrete. The truth is there for you to find it. My advice to you, if you're searching, is to keep on searching. My advice to you is to understand that you are curious for a reason, and that curiosity comes from God. You're human, and you have purpose, and you have an assignment from God. I believe that with all of my heart, that you have an assignment from God. And I would just hope that my channel can be a part of your journey, to help you on your journey, but to also to bear witness to my journey as well. If you're in a season, especially where you're leaving lots of different philosophies and you're trying to find truth, and you're leaning towards what this God is, if you have curiosity about who God is, and if you want things to be answered, if you have questions, this is the channel for you. I want you to come here with your questions. I don't want you to come here trying to pretend to be something you're not. I want you to understand that the spiritual aspect of you is part of your holiness. It just needs to be directed back to the true God, the true and living God. There's a lot of idols. There's a lot of gods that, or demons that want you to continue to keep giving, but you're not receiving. I want you to finally receive. I want your thirst to be quenched. I want you to understand that the spiritual gifts that you have, it's real. And there's two ways that you can get that. It can be from evil or it can be from the true and living God. But the spirituality that you possess is here for a reason. And I want to encourage you to keep diving in. I want you to keep truth seeking. And I just thank you for being here. And if this is your first time being here, welcome. Hopefully you choose to walk on this journey with me. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for giving me grace to just be able to build and walk through my journey. And I really hope that you continue to walk with me. And I would love to walk with you guys on your journey. This is the marking of the new. Remember, I'm here in love. Trust me, I'm here in love, but I'm also here to talk. Like, let's talk about these things. Let's have these conversations. All of the knowledge that I learned before, it's not going to go to waste. I promise you, I understand what it feels like to be in your shoes, and I'm here with you. I'm not a person to condemn you. I'm not God. And so all the things that I've learned, I'm here because I identify with what you're going through and what you have been doing. I've lived it. I understand it. I'm not a Christian who has been a Christian their whole life. I'm a Christian who has been on the side that you've been on. And so I get it. And I know I know your heart and a lot of the things that you do. And I also want you to understand that a lot of the good things that you have there will be magnified, and also they come from God if you can finally understand who He is. And like I said, just thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.